You need two things at Daytona, a fast car and track position. They think they have a fast car. They just need to do everything they can tonight to get that all-important track position.
So important as we look at just 5 races remaining in the regular season before the playoffs get underway, and those point standings. So Parker Kligerman, as we just heard, was 36 points above that line, now only 16. Every position, every point counts.
It's been a big week with penalties. Denny Hamlin in the Cup Series, Parker Kligerman in Xfinity. It's real simple. They mess with the spoiler. You're not allowed to touch it. The edge has kind of been rounded off, so NASCAR, that's what they found on the 48.
16 will be left in the playoffs.
Let's listen in to the radio of Riley Herbst and that team as we get ready for the green.
So you know the plan all night long. We'll keep those clean. We'll be there at the end. Yes, sir. Thank you. Joey, I got your back. Let me know what you want me to do, and I'll do it. As Riley talking to Joe Campbell, his spotter up on the roof. I talked to Riley down in the garage area. Remember last week at Michigan? Just a mistake. Riley was passing a car on the backstretch, moved up without being clear. It's a little bit more complicated than that because the car he was passing kind of got to push and got to run. But either way, not clear, made the move. The spotter called for clear. I asked Riley, did you guys talk about this week? He said, we did. As a driver, he goes, I have to do a better job of being more confident that I was going to be completely clear before I moved up. But he also had a conversation with the spotter. I told Riley I was impressed with his interview after the race because he said, I wasn't clear. I made a mistake. He kept saying I. Never we, never my spotter. He took full blame for the have to make in a millisecond. And you're going to have to trust that spotter, or you're going to have to constantly be looking in your mirrors because when that hole starts closing up and you don't feel it, it may be too late to play defense. So after that event last week, Steve, that conversation between the two, building that confidence back is very important.
Everyone coming down pit road checking their speed, and while they're doing that, we saw the 21 almost catch up to the front. Dave, did they get everything fixed?
Yeah, the team was scrambling around the 21. It was indeed the push-to-talk button on the steering wheel. The good news is that Austin Hill could hear
Junior in the 19 who slid up on that outside line, and so that's the two cars that make up row number 1. Chandler Smith, Joe Graf Jr. Green flags out at Daytona.
Well, we'll have to follow up on that 21 starting to the back. Can be no big deal, Rick, or can be a huge deal if you have an accident early.
Joe Gibbs Racing has to feel pretty good about the Toyotas and everyone starting toward the front here at Daytona. As they race 2 by 2, Dave, an update on that 21?
Yeah, Rick, the team just informed me, and that was a scramble right there, that they were actually going to the back anyway after qualifying.
The 51 Clemens is around. Also, the 21 caught up in it. Austin Hill. After starting in the back now, he was involved in this incident. We saw the 51. Clemens
pretty bad.
was sideways. There were about 4 or 5 cars that had contact here.
Rick, they had to change a steering pump and a steering box. That's what sent them to the back at the beginning of this race, and what a disaster.
Ryan Ellis also involved. Take a look. Wallace Allen in the 15.
Haley Dean's not in that car?
The 28 was slow, and everyone checked up from behind Kyle Sieg.
Yeah, Gustine's in the 15 car. The 51 gets stacked up, gets pushed to the apron, and at that point, the whole bottom line stacks up. But the wreck is really the 51, right? The 26 pushes the 51 down on the bottom. You're going to see him right here. Gets down on the apron, and now everybody starts to check up, and that's kind of a chain reaction. The wreck behind is a reaction to the 51 wrecking.
The 51 sideways, and that quick. It gets bottled up here at Daytona.
Yeah, that's so disappointing. On lap 1, the aggressiveness, it just isn't necessary. On lap 1 to be pushing that hard into turn 3. It's a long race. And this race has a history of a lot of cautions. You have to go into the race understanding that.
And it was surprising because Jeremy Clements in that 51 looked like he went down on the yellow line, and then when he was self-correcting, just lost control of this car.
Oh, look at this damage. Ryan Ellis. So disappointing.
Cosmetic done. Motor, radiator.
Talk about track position, how important it is. So look at this big shot. So the 51 car, he's right behind Allgaier. The 26 of Earnhardt's pushing him. Now the 51 is in the back of the 7. And now he's just out of control. So it all started because, in my eyes, Jeffrey Earnhardt does not know that Jeremy Clemens is up against the rear bumper of Allgaier. And he's trying to push him and ends up just pushing him into this wreck.
And the 35, Akinori Ogata, came in at a much higher pace than everyone else. Same thing, obviously not understanding that they were stacking up. He gets in the back of the 15, Gus Dean, and then goes up and clenches the 21. It looks so much easier in slow motion. Right? When you watch it in real speed, it just happens truly in a blink of an eye.